So it seems that the children went some other way, and I can continue. Yes, Bomjon had misused even the helpfulness of my own ex-boyfriend to contribute to his money, and that money was used in large amount during those days when he arranged the captivity to hide the criminals, to bribe the police, to pay off the media not to write about it. And obviously the 6 pieces of huge high quality steel padlocks were also not the cheapest one, and the big chains, and who knows how many chains and padlocks he needed if he also tied the Nepali Maata, and probably there had been some other people also about whom we don't know. Now recently I read on the internet in a forum, and I don't know what is true about this. That guy in a forum was showing my links to my YouTube speeches, and besides it he had a short text saying that one of the women Bomjon tortured had died from the torture of his Sangha, which is terrible information, and I was not aware of this. I would like to find out, currently I'm trying to find out who was that woman who actually had been killed by the torture of his Sangha. Now, you must know that in Nepal many people disappear, many people can be killed, and they don't get really investigated if there is big money or political contacts involved. And everyone could see that Bomjon does have political contacts. Minimally, he has a long-time devotee, Mani Lama, who is the leader of his Kathmandu committee. And the same Mani Lama made the press conference about my captivity after I was released, just to smooth the controversy which was created. But he had never been there, he had never even seen me, and never ever we had a single conversation. So he was not in the jungle during all this time. So what he was telling in the press conference is a mixture of what Bomjon told him to tell, a mixture of his own fantasy and a mixture of his political diplomatic ideas. How can it be explained? So this Mani Lama was the ex-health minister of Nepal, and in Nepali realities, ex or present or former, it doesn't matter too much. If someone already had been in politics once, that person does still have all these good friendships, and he can use these good friendships to solve any personal problem. And probably the problems which they have with Ram Bomjon's violent endeavors, they need a lot of political will to push down and silence the investigations. A huge amount of police had been involved, and the police reports are always somehow mysteriously stopped. And so that during that captivity, I was there 3 months. It was very near to his settlement, maybe 5 minutes walk only, so that Darshan and Dorje could easily access me for torture. I supposed that was the reason, and also that Bomjon can easily access me for torture and watching me and controlling me. I must say that apart from that one beating during the new moon night, Bomjon practically didn't come too much personally to my place. At one occasion he came with his group of attendants like Dorje, Molam, Buddha, Darshan, but he was standing afar from me. That was after the beating, I think, and he came to check, spectacularly check. He could check millions of times because I was practically very near to his kajokpa. I know the place. That place was very near to Andrea Good's favorite people tree. She had a favorite pre-party where she used to go down to play that she's meditating. And once I asked her, what are you doing during this meditation? And she told me, I don't really know. I am just thinking about Bomjon, about Guruji, and I don't know how to meditate. So these kind of people are the leaders of the Sangha who don't even know how to meditate. And interestingly, this peepal tree, this was a bent peepal tree, kind of smaller peepal tree. After my captivity, this peepal tree broke in two, like symbolizing that the peepal tree didn't agree with Andrea Good's support of my torture. That peepal tree was a few meters from the place of my torture, actually, and so obviously very near to the house which was built from the donations of Majita, a Sri Lankan woman living in Dubai, who sponsored Bomjon a lot. That house was not used too much by Bomjon. He rarely stayed there, only for certain committee meetings or meeting with Kempo. And he was keeping his tankas there. But just behind that house was his newly built kajokpa, where he was already staying. And there was another hidden house in the jungle, the oldest one actually, made from concrete bricks. And in that house had been most previous victims locked up and tied, because that house is safely far away from the settlement of the Sangha, and so not so easy to find, because it was inside the forbidden area of Bomjon. So now I started to understand after my release why was he always so keen, and especially his Sangha were so keen to forbid us foreigners and devotees in general to enter his compounds, because he had too many things to hide. I even said this fear that quite probably already before I had been tied there on chains 3 months, there had been similar cases, victims tied inside his compound for prolonged periods and tortured, and that's why in 2011 we are not allowed to come even near to his compound without special preparation and permission from him and Kempo. We lived in the big compound, a 13-kilometer circumference area, but inside that area was a smaller fenced compound where even we were not allowed to enter. Only a few lamas and nuns. In 2011 it was Shyam, his small brother, and Manu, and Palchenmo. Manu is his small sister and Palchenmo is a nun. And maybe a few so-called memes, old monks, Tamang monks. But later on even these people had been somehow sent away, and Buddha Lama was one of those young boys who were allowed to enter. Not many people were allowed to enter, really. It was actually very secretive, and we obeyed it. And obviously, I'm not so brave. These people all think that I disobeyed him and I came through this fence and I disturbed him, but that is nonsense. Of course, I was afraid of him as everyone else. We all believed he had many psychic powers, and we not just this, not just from obeying, but we really loved him, really respected him. So I really wished him silence and peace, because I myself loved silence and peace. That's why I went to that jungle. That's why I was meditating in the riverbed only alone, even in the hot sun, but I just needed solitude. So I understand when someone needs solitude. It's absurd. All the people who know me all my life and know that I was doing serious solitude meditations, they know that I would never ever disturb another yogi, whom I even came to support and admire, just for what? I don't even know what should be the benefit from disturbing Bomjon's meditation. But believe me or not, all the year 2011, he was spreading this lie about me to his Sangha, while in the same time he was inviting me in secret channels, come to me, come to Halkoria, I want to stay with you, and many things which people would be shocked when they once learn. So I was put in a very strong dilemma. If I have to fulfill the secret wish of this Bomjon, whom I loved so much and respected so much, or I have to keep some kind of rules set by his followers. Very difficult situation. I was many times crying, suffering. I didn't know how to solve this. And so there I was in the jungle now, and chained by him, and didn't have any more escape. That was it.